So you have a whole other book of Kings for me? Yes, sir, I do. And it picks up right where we left off last time, when King Ahab was mortally wounded by a random arrow after 22 years of disrespecting God. That's what happened, sir, yes. And now King Ahab's son is carrying on his father's legacy of idol worship. Oh, this family is incorrigible. They cannot be corriged, sir, no. So one day, Ahab's son, Ahaziah, who's now the new king, gets badly injured when he falls through the lattice of the royal residence. Oh, whoops. Whoopsie. He falls through the lattice. What's going on there? Oh, very unclear. Is that a floor or a wall? It really doesn't matter. Was he pushed or was he just leaning against something? Is it symbolic of anything? No, not really. What sort of injury does he sustain? I don't know. Okay. It just seems so random that a royal residence would be so poorly constructed that the king could fall through any part of it. Look, sir, I'm going to need you to get all the way off my back about this, or we're never going to get through the chapter. Sure, let me get off that thing. Great. So, King Ahaziah has injured himself. Now what? Ahaziah wants to consult his deity to find out if he's going to recover. Uh-oh, let me guess. His deity is one besides Yahweh. Precisely, sir. He wants Baal-zebub, the god of Ekron, to give him the prognosis. And that's going to piss off God. And that's going to piss off God. For the umpteenth time. For the umpteenth time, yes, sir. So you're doing the whole people following the wrong gods over and over and over again, sometimes for years and years, despite the clear and obvious signs they are supposedly getting that it is Yahweh who is the one true God. And yet, inexplicably, these people instead choose an inanimate and wholly ineffectual man-made idol that does nothing at all, and they subsequently get a holy ass-kicking brought down on their heads. Story again? That's the one, sir, yes. All right, let's hear it. So, before Ahaziah can even consult his useless Beelzebub idol, God has the prophet Elijah give him a message. Ah, so our merciful Lord, abundant in patience and grace, gives Ahaziah a personal and divine heads up about the folly of following false gods. Sorta? He has Elijah intercept Ahaziah's men to relay the message. Is it because there is no God in Israel that you are going off to consult Beelzebub, the god of Ekron? Haha, that's a good question, putting Ahaziah on the spot. So, how does Ahaziah respond? We'll never know, because before he can say a word, Elijah relays the rest of God's message. You will not leave the bed you are lying on. You will certainly die. Oh my God. Yeah, looks like God isn't going to screw around for 22 years like he did with Ahab. I guess the old boy can learn from his mistakes. Yeah. Well, good for God. So, what's Ahaziah's next move now that he's been handed this holy death sentence? He sends 50 soldiers to go get Elijah from the top of some hill he's been hanging out on. For what purpose? Unclear. Huh. So the leader of these men addresses Elijah. Man of God, the king says, come down. It's going to be hard for Elijah to refuse a command backed by 50 armed men. Actually, it's going to be super easy, barely an inconvenience. Oh, really? Yep, Elijah just replies, if I am a man of God, may fire come down from heaven and consume you and your 50 men. And that's exactly what happens. Jesus Christ! Oh yeah, it's a good old-fashioned barbecue. God, those poor soldiers, they were innocent men. Meh, what are you gonna do, am I right? Couldn't God have simply spared them? Spared. They were low-level flunkies in the service of their king. It's not like they had any reason to refuse a superior's order. You sure worry about the funniest stuff. Never mind. So what happens next? So right after that atrocity, the king sends another 50 men. And they make the same demand for Elijah to come down from his little hill. And this time Elijah, knowing that God totally has his back, accompanies the king's men. Nope, Elijah repeats the exact same line as before. And God murders another 50 innocent foot soldiers. Oh my God, what the f***? What a bunch of f***ing idiots. Christ, this is terrible. So I guess the king abandons that strategy? Nope, he sends another 50 guys to collect Elijah. What? Can you imagine being in that third detail? No, I cannot. Does God murder them too? Nah, the captain begs for their lives and God finally relents and tells Elijah that he can go with them now. So 100 innocent, blameless men were murdered by God just to intimidate Ahaziah. Looks that way. Oh, wow. Our God is an awesome God. Oh, hell yeah. So Elijah finally appears before the king, and he repeats the whole, "How dare you consult Beelzebub? You're gonna die in your bed" bit. And sure enough, Ahaziah dies. So Ahab spit in God's face by actively worshiping detestable foreign idols, and got away with it for 22 years, but his son Ahaziah gets snuffed the minute he tries it. That's what we're going with. Well, okay then. Next, Elijah is about to be whisked to heaven in a whirlwind one day while he's walking with... Pardon me, he's what? When the Lord was about to take Elijah up to heaven in a whirlwind, Elijah and Elisha were on their way from Gilgal. Did you forget to read a couple of paragraphs? Yeah, you're right. What the heck? Oh, damn it, there's a page missing. Damn slaves, always misplacing my stuff. Good help is hard to buy. Well, shoot, it's not in here. You need to find that. I know. Maybe it fell out while I was walking. Elijah getting whisked up to heaven with no explanation whatsoever is going to sound so arbitrary and amateurish. Yes, obviously. We had this whole sequence of events between Elijah and Elisha to detail why it was time for the baton to be passed. Oh, good. Glad to know that lazy dumb writing wasn't about to raise its lazy dumb head again. Oh, off. Don't forget to look for that missing page. I won't. So anyway, the Lord sends Elijah to Jericho, then later on to the Jordan. Why? Go on. And though Elijah tells Elisha to stay behind both times, Elisha refuses to be parted from him. Why doesn't Elijah want Elisha to go with him? Do you really expect me to have an answer for that? Because I absolutely do not. Just keep going. So, when they get to the Jordan River, Elijah whacks it with his cloak, and that parts the water so that they can walk across. Wow, what an amazing miracle. It's like when Moses parted the Red Sea. Yeah. Except the stakes are so low here. They're not being chased by anyone, right? Well, no. They just need to cross the river. Yes. And so you've put a miniature parting the Red Sea plot element in here for what reason? Well, when the baton is passed to Elisha, he repeats the river parting trick with Elijah's cloak. So that sort of cements the whole idea that Elisha's the guy now. Will this river parting power be a major plot element going forward? It will never be used again. Oh, establishing a supernatural power for a protagonist only to never use it again is tight. Yeah. Okay. So Elisha's the guy now, huh? Yep, and he almost immediately confirms his mystical status by purifying a small town's well with some magical salt. Hey, that's a handy power. Will he be using it going forward? It too will never be used again. Tight, very tight. And then we finish today with a wonderful example of how awesome and merciful our Lord is and how slow to anger. Oh, nice. What's up? So Elisha is walking along a road near Bethel, and a bunch of kids come out to tease him. Why are they teasing him? He's bald, apparently. Those little assholes. Yes, these kids taunt Elisha by saying, "Get out of here, Baldy." Well, what are you gonna do? Kids can be punks sometimes, am I right? Yeah. So, does Elijah sit these little bastards down and educate them on how one treats one's elders? Sorta? Oh, good. He calls down a curse from God on them, and 2 bears come out of the woods, and they tear 42 children apart. Holy shit! I mean, that's gotta teach him a lesson, right? You have God murdering 42 children by bear attack? That does appear to be what I wrote. Dude, you can't put that in there. It makes God look like a total psychopath. Maybe I could rewrite the scene to make the violence seem more justifiable? I don't see how you're going to manage that, but fine, either do that or cut the scene. I will. So anyway, what do you think of 2 Kings so far? It seems an awful lot like the first one. Really? Shoot. You should have Elisha do something awesome and unique, to set him apart from Elijah. I've got just the thing.